Right now, there's a signal on your skin that you can't feel. You sit perfectly still and you make no sound, and yet a cloud is already spreading through the air around you that something out there can use to find you in total darkness out of 10 people in a matter of seconds, and you can't shut it off. You've seen this with your own eyes. A summer evening in the backyard, you and your buddy are grilling meat under the same sky in the same air, wearing similar clothes. 20 minutes later, you're covered in red welts and slapping at your arms while he hasn't been touched once. The easy answer is that he just got lucky. He didn't. That sweet blood everyone loves to talk about is a myth too. You get singled out because you smell like no one else on earth. You have your own chemical signature, and something is hunting it. And the hunter is more serious than you'd think. The mosquito is the deadliest animal in human history. The diseases it carries kill more than 700,000 people every year, more than any other creature on the planet. And here's the truly unsettling part. We raised this hunter ourselves. Thousands of years ago, mosquitoes didn't care whose blood they drank. The turning point came when people settled in one place and started storing water in jars and pits right by their doorsteps. That standing water fed mosquito larvae year-round, even through a drought. So sticking close to humans paid off. The drier the region and the more densely people lived, the more tightly certain species attached themselves to us. With our cities and our stored water, we fed the very creature that now hunts us by smell. So why not just wipe them all out? It isn't that simple. Out of more than 3,000 mosquito species, only a handful come after humans. Their larvae feed fish and the adults feed birds and bats. Pull them all at once, and no one can predict what comes crashing down next. So instead, we strike the dangerous ones with precision. In some places, mosquitoes are infected with a bacterium that shuts down the viruses inside them. In others, males are released whose offspring don't survive, and the carrier populations collapse. But none of that helps you out in the backyard, where the mosquito has once again ignored everyone else and chosen you. So the question stands, why you out of everyone? To understand how you get chosen, look at how you get tracked. The first thing that gives you away is your breath. Every time you exhale, you leave an invisible trail of carbon dioxide in the air, and the female catches it from about 30 feet away. By the way, only females bite. They need blood to lay their eggs. She flies into the wind, straight up your trail. Closer in, she makes out your dark outline and feels the warmth coming off your skin. And in the last few inches, the main thing kicks in, your scent. Breath and heat give away any warm body equally. But scent is uniquely you, and that's what she uses to decide who out of everyone. And if that's true, then somewhere out there is one person who smells more irresistible to mosquitoes than anyone else alive. Scientists spent years trying to find that person, and they did. Not long ago at Rockefeller University in Leslie Vosshall's lab, they ran a strange tournament. People wore nylon on their arms for hours, so the fabric would soak up the smell of their skin, and then those scents were matched head-to-head in front of hungry mosquitoes to see which would win, knockout style for nearly 3 years. And one person won every single time. Mosquitoes flew to him 100 times more eagerly than to the least noticeable people. 100 times. The answer was in his skin. It produces oily compounds called carboxylic acids. The bacteria living on you turn them into a scent, and magnets simply make far more of them, so their cloud is brighter than anyone else's in the room. And here's the key. That signature doesn't change. Whoever becomes irresistible to mosquitoes stays that way for years. And a lot of that was written into you before you were even born. Twin studies showed it. With identical twins who share the same genes, mosquitoes liked both of them about equally, while with fraternal twins, the difference was huge. How attractive you are to mosquitoes is handed down almost as reliably as your height. You can't fake it. That itchy bump you've been counting your bites with your whole life is lying to you. It swells not because of how many times you were bitten, but because of how fiercely your immune system reacts to the mosquito's saliva. So the real magnet often barely reacts, even though they swarm him the most. His skin stays calm and never hints at how irresistible he really is to them. And the guy covered in scratch marks who certain mosquitoes adore him learns only one thing from those bumps, that his immune system answers every bite with a vengeance. How many times he was actually bitten, the welts can't tell you. Their number says nothing about how often you get bitten, only about how strongly you react. So it's possible that your whole life you've been reading your own skin completely wrong. So maybe science will outsmart this chemistry and build a spray that throws off the mosquito's sense of smell? For decades, it hasn't worked. Looking inside the mosquito's head, scientists figured out why. Its sense of smell is so backed up that you can switch off one sensor and the others still smell the human loud and clear. They called the system practically unbreakable. There is one thing you can do. It was recently noticed that even your choice of soap shifts the odds. Some scents make you more appealing, while a coconut one actually drives them off. So there it is, the cutting edge of the fight against the deadliest hunter on the planet, coconut. But even that only dulls your signature for a couple of hours. Erasing it is impossible. And it gets worse. Sometimes your body can be made to call mosquitoes in even louder against yourself. The malaria parasite, once it's inside a person, retunes their scent. The infected person starts smelling sweeter to mosquitoes, and they swarm to him more greedily. That's exactly what the parasite needs. To reproduce, it has to pass through a human and then a mosquito, one after the other. So it rewrites your signature and turns you into living bait that calls the killer to its next victim. You think it's your scent, but sometimes it's no longer you who decides how you smell. And somewhere in the dark, something is already flying toward a signal you can neither feel nor switch off.